Okay, so we're just continuing on from the question we just did. I rubbed it off, but we'll have a look at it over here. So when we do the graph of the blue line, that was x plus y equals 3. When you've got two graphs on the one number plane, make sure you label them, okay, because you don't expect the marker to know which graph's supposed to be which. So this is the line x plus y equals 3. I put the x-intercept and the y-intercept on and ruled through the line and wrote the equation on. With the red one, the y-intercept was 6 and the x-intercept was 1.5, halfway between 1 and 2, so make sure you're halfway, and rule through with your red line and label that one as well. So we're looking for the point of intersection here, and graphs are not always going to be completely accurate, but as best as I can see, this will be the point 1, 2, when I read off my point of intersection. So my answer is going to be x equals 1 and y equals 2. Okay, the next question. So we're looking at two equations. The first one is 3x minus 2y equals 12. It's a straight line. We're going to find its y-intercept by making x equals 0. So copy down the equation, put the 0 in for x, and when you solve it, you'll get y equals minus 6. The next one, x-intercept, we're making y equals 0, so copy its equation down, put 0 in for y, and go through and solve it, you'll get x equals 4. On the next one, we've got x plus 2y equals 8 for our second equation, so it's a straight line. We're finding the y-intercept again, make x equals 0, so copy your equation down, put 0 in for x, keep going and you'll get y equals 4. On the next one, we're finding the x-intercept, where y equals 0, so copy your equation down, put 0 in for y, and there's your answer for that, x equals 8. So we're going to mark all this on our graph. So for our blue line, our 3x minus 2y equals 12, we're putting our y-intercept of minus 6 and our x-intercept of 4. So there's my y-intercept of minus 6, there's my x-intercept of 4, rule straight through and write the equation on. With the red line, we have a y-intercept of 4 and an x-intercept of 8. There's the y-intercept of 4, there's the x-intercept of 8, rule straight through and make sure you write the equation on the line. So now reading off the point of intersection here, it looks clearly to be an x-coordinate of 5, but I think if we line this up, the y-coordinate is going to be between 1 and 2, so I'm going to say that that's 1.5. As I said, they're not going to, if it's reading off a graph, they're not going to make it 1 2/15 or something, so it's probably going to be sticking to the halves. Okay, so we're looking at our point of intersection. Our x is 5 and our y is 1.5. And that's your answer. Okay, and for the last one, number 4, so we're going to graph these two straight lines. 5x minus y equals 5, we'll find the y-intercept. So copy the equation down, put x equals 0 in. You'll get down to minus y equals 5. I've jumped straight into this answer. If you want to do the working between, you can. But basically, if I'm changing the sign on the left-hand side, I can change the sign on the right-hand side if it's just one term. Okay, so if you've got one term equals one term, and you change the sign of this, then you can change the sign over here too. And that will make it a true statement. So minus y equals 5, I've changed the minus y to a positive y, I've changed the 5 to a negative 5, and that's the answer. Okay, the x-intercept, we're making y equals 0, so start again. Put your 0 in for y, solve it and get x equals 1. Taking the other equation, x plus y equals 4, it is a straight line. We're finding the y-intercept by making x equals 0. Put that in, you get y equals 4. And we're finding the x-intercept by making y equals 0. So copy it down, put it in, you get x equals 4. So putting it all on a graph. For our blue one, we have a y-intercept of minus 5 and an x-intercept of 1. So here's our y-intercept of minus 5 and our x-intercept of 1. Rule through for your line. with the red one, our y-intercept was 4 and our x-intercept was 4. There's my y-intercept of 4 and my x-intercept of 4. Rule straight through with your red line. Don't forget to write the equations on the lines. And now we're reading off the point of intersection. So looking at this one, I think that point, if you fall down, will be halfway between the 1 and the 2. So I'm going to call that 1.5. And then this one, if I come over here, I think that's halfway between 2 and 3. So I'm going to call that 2.5. So that's as complicated probably as the points of intersection are going to be, just looking at halves like that. So if we look at our answer, we're going to have x equals 1.5. And we're going to have y equals 2.5. I hope you can see that point. I'll write it over here. 1.5, 2.5. Okay, so that's the end of the example. So make sure you have a look at your homework, have a go at that. And in a minute I'm going to do something that's an application to this work in the real life.